Welcome to the February edition of the Missouri School Boards Association's Board Report. We begin with a look at the governor's State of the State address last month. On January 28th, Governor Kehoe delivered his first State of the State address, which laid out his legislative agenda. Securing Missouri's future was the theme of Governor Kehoe's address. Governor Kehoe's budget recommends a $200 million increase for the foundation formula and over $370 million to fully fund the state's commitment to school transportation needs. For teachers, the budget includes $33 million to fund teacher salaries. While the governor does recommend a $200 million increase to the foundation formula, that still leaves it underfunded by $300 million.
You're going to hear it in the media, so you might as well hear it from me first. While it's clear our support for K-12 education is a record investment and the largest we've ever seen, we are not fully funding the formula. And while we are committed to making good on the funding commitments passed by the legislature last year, this budget does not include an additional $300 million liability that was imposed on us by an administrative body.
The governor is also asking for $50 million in state general revenue for school vouchers and $7 million for capital improvements at charter schools. The combination of an underfunded foundation formula coupled with a diversion of funds to charter schools and unaccountable voucher programs is concerning. MSBA's Chief Advocacy Officer Brant Shields says that with so much talk around ed reform, MSBA will be spending a great deal of time focusing on education funding and accountability.
Coming out of 727, priority number one has to be education funding.
Absolutely.
You know, one of the promises that was made as they were expanding school choice last year in privatization, and their selling point to many members who were kind of uneasy about voting for 727 is, but don't worry, public education is going to get so much more money out of this. So, I mean, we are here to say, we are here to make sure that education is fully funded. We believe that the best accountability for schools happens at that local level, and we get very concerned when hard-earned tax dollars that come from our citizens and they go to places that are not held to that same level of accountability. And we want to make sure that if a dollar is going out from the state, whether it goes to a public school or a private school through an ESA or a charter school, that they are held to high standards.
The governor's executive budget recommendations are the starting point for the legislative appropriation process. MSBA is now working with legislators to support MSBA's priorities as they involve funding beyond the governor's recommendations for public education. As the appropriation process now begins, your advocacy efforts will be essential to protect funding for Missouri's public school students.
You know your district best. You know how policy is going to impact you at a local level, and making those personal connections for legislators is really the opportunity to impact. Because when Brant goes and has conversations with them, he's offering a statewide perspective, which is important, but most often those emotional, personal conversations about your local communities is what's going to sway the mindset of a legislator.
As the legislative session progresses, we will keep you updated on these developments again this year through our Legislative Voice newsletter sent to members via email each Friday during the session, through critical issue alerts, and MSBA's Spring Advocacy Series. The Spring Advocacy Series helps you connect the classroom to the Capitol and make an impact in shaping education policy. The large class of freshman legislators in the Missouri House and Senate means your insights as a local school leader will be critical, and your connections can make the difference. Log on to Advocacy Lunch and Learns for the latest updates in the legislative session, and plan to attend MSBA's Advocacy Day and Student Showcase with your school board to meet your legislators at the Capitol on March 11th. For more information about all of these events, visit the MSBA website. MSBA is also pleased to sponsor School Board Recognition Month in March. It's a great opportunity for school districts and communities to recognize the great work of school board members and the important role local boards of education play as leaders of our public schools. Visit the MSBA website for ideas to celebrate and materials created to help recognize the vital role these public officials play in the education of Missouri's children. That's it for this month's edition of the MSBA Board Report. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and we'll see you in March for the next MSBA Board Report.